既然你这么有志气，姐就支持你，加油！加油！行了，快去练习。
Something odd that I noticed is basically all the extras in the background pretending to fence. What's odd about that is most of the time in a lot of TV shows that I've seen that takes place in a fencing club, or at least one particular scene, the main character may not know how to fence, but if they're ever using other fencers as just sort of a backdrop when they're just practicing, most of the time they will have actual fencers doing it. They'll go to a club, they'll say, hey, we need you all to just be practicing in the background. What's odd here is that every single one of these people has clearly never fenced before. So I find it weird that they're doing this at an actual club, because this is definitely too big and too intricate to have just designed as a set for this show. So they're doing this at an actual fencing club, but they got rid of all the actual fencers. Maybe that's a decision that has to do with, I don't know, finances or contracts or whatever, something behind the scenes. But from just me watching it, it's an odd choice.
我是为了你留下来的，然后我喜欢你。你让我想清楚，我的目标是什么？我已经想清楚了，我的目标就是你。如果你真的很喜欢击剑的话，我也可以学。这就是我喜欢你的决心。你知道，喜欢一个人，就是可以为他做一些自己不喜欢的事情，比如说击剑。
I'm only showing this because I want to bring it up because I've actually seen this. Partners and couples doing fencing specifically because their partner does fencing as well. Usually it lasts for sometimes a few months, maybe even a year or something, but every single person that I've met that is fencing only because their significant other also fences, they always quit rather soon. Now, sometimes they stay, but that's because they start fencing because of their significant other and then realize that they really like it. But no person that I've ever met who has done fencing and keeps doing it purely because of their significant other, not because they like it themselves, they always end up dropping out. Alright, finally we have some fencing. So, the first couple attacks I missed because the way the camera is angled and how zoomed in it is, it's difficult to tell how it was. Which I guess technically means it wasn't atrocious, but whatever. But this part here was the only attack I really saw in clarity. First of all, I've said this time and time again, there is no priority here, so they're just basically doing whatever they want. The thing is, though, even in epee where priority isn't used, this kind of attacking multiple times in a row, it might happen every now and then, but definitely not to this degree, and it's definitely not that common. So even if Saber didn't have priority, this still wouldn't be realistic. But it does have priority, so that's, just a double whammy. But in this case, she's attacking like 3 or 4 times in a row, which doesn't happen. And the main thing I see here is that she's doing it pretty much all from her elbow. She's kind of using a bit of her wrist and mostly her elbow to just jut her arm forward. Not only is that rather inefficient in terms of movement, but it actually puts a big strain on your arm. So if you keep doing it, you will eventually end up just hurting yourself. So the way that they're attacking is very just reminiscent of someone who was given a sword doesn't know how to fence and said, here, fake it. And their blade work, from what I can see, the parries and really the attacks are all just random. There's no real rhyme or reason to it. But now focusing on the footwork, that wasn't too bad, I suppose, if this was like a drill where there's not a whole lot of footwork. The thing is, I've said it before, particularly in saber fencing, footwork is a huge part of it. So if this were a real, even just a practice bout, they're supposed to be just, using the entire length of the strip as much as they can. Distance and footwork are a huge part of saber fencing. So the fact that they're using so few is not very realistic. The actual way that they're being performed, I suppose, is not bad. But then there's this lunge here. That's actually not bad. It's pretty good form, which the thing is, there are a few more, like, steps and, well, I suppose not steps, but, like, elements to a lunge than there is to an advance or retreat. So typically, unless someone knows how to do it, they're a little bit harder to fake. So they may have gotten a few lessons from it, but I'm kind of impressed that they were actually able to do it. Because it may not have been particularly fast, but the actual positioning of this lunge, in terms of just the footwork, I'm ignoring the arm, that's almost textbook. So it's a small thing. It's one thing in this tiny scene, but it's better than not getting anything right. So I liked the shape of the lunge there.
知道吗？他把你公主抱出现场，现场所有的人心都酥了。你呀，就坦白从宽。到底要我说什么你才肯相信啊？我保证啊，我们俩绝对没有交往。
I spot something. Look at that. The Velcro for the jacket is on the Velcro of the lame. This is a small thing, but it's kind of funny. Anyways, I just wanted to point that out.
这个不错，来。
That was totally bad.
腿打开。如果再融入不了队伍的话，
不，我真的什么方法都用尽了。你知道我的，我天天帮师哥跑腿、擦剑、整理剑馆的，每天第一个来，最后一个回去，是吧？啊？
那这个办法不行，就得想想别的办法呗。
那还能有什么其他办法呀？
Well, there was hardly any fencing in that, so that kind of sucked. I'd say overall this was a very average episode. In between all the stuff that I didn't show, there was a ton of drama. Hopefully they'll have gotten it all out of the way for the next episode. I'll have to see. I think overall I'll give it a 5 out of 10. Just very average. They did one thing right, and everything else was wrong. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next week. Bye.